Her style, distinctive and journalistic. Her photographs, elegant and timeless. See how Cheryl Richards captures so much in a single picture.
My parents bought me a Kodak Brownie camera when I was 8, and ever since then I loved photography.
That passion has always driven her.
I just had it in my gut. I had to do it, and from the age of 16 in high school, I knew that that's what I wanted to do. But it took me years of waitressing, years of working at different companies. I knew that I wanted to do this. I didn't know how I was going to do it, but I knew that I wanted to end up having photos that somebody would look at for the rest of their lives.
I've known Cheryl for 20 years. We began working together at Skinner Auction House, which mainly deals in antiques and fine art. Cheryl took pictures of the antiques and fine art and would tell all of us that someday she was going to be a famous photographer. At the time, I think she thought we didn't take her very seriously. But frankly, from the first moment that I met Cheryl, I knew she had an amazing eye for people and imagery.
Today, Cheryl is one of New England's most sought-after photographers. Her wedding photography alone has earned her 5 Best of Boston awards.
I think it's important when you're choosing a photographer, especially a wedding photographer, that you feel comfortable with that person.
We felt that she was the most genuine, had a wonderful reputation, and there needs to be a connection there, and you have to feel really comfortable with the person you're working with, and she really did that. She made it feel like we were just friends.
When I looked through everything, my jaw dropped. It was the greatest experience. I couldn't believe what she had captured. Things that I thought I saw, but I never really saw it through her eyes. She had the ability to catch my parents, who have been divorced for 30 years, during a sweet moment together.
She's by herself, and it's amazing how many wonderful pictures she took, not only candid, but of the group and everyone else, and she really was able to blend it nicely with the whole crowd, and she wasn't intrusive. They weren't canned pictures.
She really, truly loves what she does, and it shows. She became a friend immediately, so I can't say enough. I would wear a sandwich board for her. I would.
Cheryl's unique talent is getting more and more attention.
Cheryl has photographed weddings for some of the most prominent Bostonians, all the way to people who have international reputations.
I've gone to Poland, Aspen, Beverly Hills, all over, doing weddings and events and meeting people I would never have met if I didn't do this for a living. I've had the privilege of having amazing people in front of the lens. Oprah, Maya Angelou, Matt Lauer, Matt Damon, the Dalai Lama, Peter Lynch, Jack Welch, Wynton Marsalis, just a number of people that I would never, ever imagine that would be on film for me.
And so much of Cheryl's work, including her intimate portraits, could be considered fine art.
I think she's a world-class photographer, but she's, in my opinion, she's an artist, and she's just a great talent.
Cheryl just has an eye, and she's able to capture the exact second that you are you, that soul comes out, and the camera, and Cheryl really sees who that person is. It's magic.
She just seems to be able to capture a child in their own special moment. So when you see this photograph, you go, that's her, that's my daughter. She's much more of an artist than a photographer.
I believe that Cheryl will go down in history as one of Boston's preeminent portrait photographers.
Cheryl is spontaneous, relying mostly on natural light. She even had me pose for a portrait. And there's a reason she prefers black and white film.
I want people to look at my photo and actually not know when it was shot. I just want them to have that timeless feel to it. There's something romantic and nostalgic about the black and white. Color can distract, whereas black and white, you go right to the subject. Your eye goes right to the subject. And I still process and print all my own work, which it really is a labor of love.
I don't know anyone else that does that in this industry for this type of work. So you're really leaving with a photograph that is an artist's piece, not just a commercial artist studio photograph. And you can tell by the texture of it, the quality of it, how beautiful it is.
What makes Cheryl's photographs so distinctive and special?
Cheryl's eye expresses so much heart, whether she's photographing a child or a wedding or an individual. Her idea of looking at someone from the inside out is remarkable and unlike any imagery I've ever seen in Boston or really anywhere.
It's all the in-between things. I'm shooting the in-between shots that make the difference, I think. What I want people to take away when they see the pictures is really a memory, because I think life is a bunch of snapshots.
Cheryl Richards is her work, and her work is Cheryl Richards. She is deep into the caring part of this. She is very much an artist, a unique and enormously talented artist. I'm just proud to know her.
There's just something extraordinary that she does. So I would say she's much more of an artist than a photographer, but photography is her medium.
Along with portraits and weddings, Cheryl's been expanding her portfolio.
I've been shooting some fashion. I'd love to do movie stills. I'd love to do more of my artwork, my personal artwork.
And the Museum of Fine Arts Boston recently selected this photo for their summer art auction.
I think we'll be seeing a lot more of Cheryl Richards, art photographer, gallerist in the future, and I hope people have a chance to see the amazing work she's accumulated over her career.
Cheryl is as warm and friendly as she is talented. To learn more about Cheryl and her amazing work, go to CherylRichards.com.